And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Saturday, September 6, 2025. And here are some of the weather-related headlines. Across the state of Alaska, still some flood watches remain in effect for the Kobuk, Yentna, and Skwentna rivers. An additional 1 to 3 inches of rain falling today through Sunday in the north there at Kobuk, and maybe 1 to 3 inches there in the upper Yentna, Skwentna river basins as we go through now into Monday afternoon. A wind advisory, eastern Alaska range north of Trim's Camp, downwind there of Isabel Pass. Warm ridge over southeast Alaska finally beginning to break down after over a week of temperatures in the 70s, even with some 80-degree readings in the record books. And the full moon of September occurs Sunday morning, 10:09 a.m. Alaska time. There's also going to be a total lunar eclipse, but we're on the wrong side of the Earth this time, so we're not going to be able to see it here, let alone there's a lot of cloud cover in many areas of the state. So in the north, Shugnik, overcast showers, 51 degrees. The rain will be increasing there tonight into Sunday morning, so again, still a flood watch in that area. Kipnik, low clouds, rain and wind, 53. We've seen some higher surf and wave action along areas of Kuskokwim Bay with this front and low pressure pushing in, but that should begin to improve later this evening and overnight. Northway, dry and mild, 65 degrees there along the Alcan border. Still some higher fire danger there. And this should say Heidelberg, sunny and warm, 68 degrees, still some warm temperatures. Few readings in some of the areas up above the water in the 70s. Here's the accumulated rain outlook for the next 3 days. This includes Saturday, Sunday, and all of Monday until 4 a.m. Tuesday. And you just wanted to highlight here, south slopes of the Brooks Range, west of Bettles, including Shugnik, Ambler. Could be 1 to 3 inches of rain. That's why there's that flood watch for the Kobuk River Basin. And then down here, just south of the Alaska Range, the upper Skwentna and Yentna rivers. These are slower draining rivers, so you get that kind of rain. It takes a while to get through that system. And because we've had such heavy rainfall and flooding there over the past couple of weeks, wouldn't take too much more rainfall to boost those water levels along those river systems. So again, that's why the flood watches remain in effect again up there in the north and the Kobuk River, and then also down here south of the Alaska Range along areas of the Skwentna and the Yentna rivers. And we have the high wind advisory there through Isabel Pass on the north side there, north of Trim's Camp. Winds could gust from the southeast and south as high as 50 to near 60 miles an hour. Still some high fire danger upper Tanana Valley around Northway and parts of the Copper River Basin around Glen Allen. This is where the warmest, driest weather has occurred, at least here in the southeast mainland. But some cloud cover is moving in. Temperatures will not be as warm coming up here, as I'll show you as we go through early next week. And looking at the satellite imagery, we do have a front that's initially pushed inland and weakening. Here's the low pressure out here that's going to be coming on shore across the lower Yukon coast in Norton Sound tonight into Sunday morning. That's just going to pull more moisture northward, and that's going to keep the rains and rain showers going across parts of the western southwest interior. And then we're going to also be watching another low coming up out in the North Pacific, but here's where the low will be located, say around 4 a.m. Sunday morning, coming on shore, Hooper Bay, Imanak, and as that works its way northeastward, it'll quickly head to the north and east up toward the Brooks Range. This front washing out along the western Gulf, but it does have some areas of rain and rain showers, some very warm temperatures up into the Yukon. I had reports from some of our viewers. They had some record temperatures the past few days in the 70s to around 80 degrees. And then back to the southwest, here comes the next low, a deepening low that actually it's a remnant of a tropical system, and it's going to be passing up toward the central Aleutians as we get into Monday. The other low by Sunday afternoon coming inland, and that will continue to push moisture across the mainland as the front here. As it works eastward, it'll spread more clouds, especially in the northern panhandle, maybe a few light showers later Sunday and into Monday morning. And then back to the north and west, there is some colder air, but not drastically colder air. It's just cooler on the other side of this front. But notice this low is deepening, almost 980 millibars there over the central Aleutians. That low's heading east-northeast. It'll take a position up here into the western Gulf by Wednesday and linger there into Thursday. So that will help to draw down a little cooler air along the west coast here as we head through mid and late week. So by Tuesday afternoon, low still just above 980 millibars there south of the Alaska Peninsula. Have some gale force winds and maybe some wind gusts to storm force along this frontal system as the low pulls up into the western Gulf Wednesday and Thursday. And that'll spread all along the Gulf Coast and into the Panhandle. Bands of some moderate to locally heavier rain and windy conditions for the midweek. Looking at the low temperatures this morning, much of the state above freezing with the exception higher elevations around the Alaska Range or the Brooks Range. Could see some mid-30s along the Arctic Beaufort Sea coast. Otherwise, 50 to lower mid-50s Panhandle, around 50 Anchorage, and off down along the Alaska Peninsula into Dutch Harbor, lower 50s for lows. Temperatures Sunday afternoon, still some 60s. Northway, Eagle on over toward Fairbanks could be around the mid-60s for still relatively mild conditions. Those of you in the southern Panhandle still could squeak out another 70-degree day either on Prince of Wales Island around Klawock or over toward Ketchikan. And back to the west, we find readings in the 40s along the Chukchi Sea coast, generally mid-50 highs, Bethel and across the southwest interior, and mid-50s Alaska Peninsula to Dutch Harbor. For Monday morning, lows will generally be in the 40s for the mainland, except there could be some readings near freezing up toward Utqiagvik. And again, low temperatures across the Panhandle, upper 40s to lower mid-50s. And then on Monday afternoon, notice overall cooler temperatures across all of the mainland, still some 60-degree readings possible. Lower Yukon Flats, Fairbanks on over along the Alcan border, and we could still have 60s here in especially the southern Panhandle, but otherwise not terribly cold to the north and west, but that may be changing. Looking ahead here as we move toward mid-month, above normal temperatures will continue southeast mainland up along the Alcan border in through all of the Panhandle, so above normal temperatures, implying some sort of storm track or moisture feed coming up into the southeast along the Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, on the backside of these systems, you have more of a northerly, northwesterly flow, so that will tend to draw down some cooler air across the west side of the mainland. And in turn, above normal precipitation still likely. Lower Copper River Basin, Wrangell, St. Elias Mountains, eastward through the Panhandle, and even up along the Alcan border, but more likely as we go through that period entering mid-September, below normal precipitation will occur along the west-southwest coast, centered on Nunavik Island and the lower Yukon Valley.